Hello everyone, welcome back to our Accounting 210. In this video, we will look at the chapter 10 practice. I think I put a lot of questions there, but we are not going to do everything together. I think I just, some questions I work with you, some concept questions, so I think I just give you some thoughts and guideline. Okay, so I put this also in the OneNote, my note there. Let's get started. I put almost 40 questions there, but we will say. The first one basically asking you, before we do this, okay, I want to review chapter 10 also with you. Chapter 10, performance evaluation, right? Performance evaluation. So we said basically it helps you to evaluate your managers. How do you evaluate your managers? My understanding is there are three different ways. The first one is you compare the manager with himself or herself. So we have a benchmark. That's where we use chapter 9, the budget, right there. That's where we use the chapter 9 concept of budget. So you compare the actual with your budget, and then we will have the variance. What is favorable variance, what is unfavorable variance, and then we also put the concept of flexible budget variance there. So make sure you understand this method. Second method is straightforward. You compare this manager and department with the other managers or department. We have a different calculation, ROI, I remember, and then sales margin, right? Sales margin, capital turnover, and then we also have the residual income. So make sure you know this concept. Last one, we said, hey, those are just focusing on the financial part. How about non-financial? We need to have a balanced scorecard. We said for balanced scorecard, you want to get both the financial part. How do you get that one? You should have good customers. How do you have good customers? You have to have good internal business. How do you have good internal business? You have to have employee and information system, which is learning and growth, right? So those are the four perspectives. That is just a quick review of chapter 10. The first question asking about your perspective, so make sure you know this part. You will definitely have at least one multiple choice question from balanced scorecard, very important. And then I'm not going to talk about this, I'm not going to do this. You should know employee turnover, you know this is learning and growth. So just make sure you understand balanced scorecard part. Next one, talking about which of following is not advantage for the decentralization. Right before we talk about those things, we also have some background. We said one is decentralization. I'll leave this one to yourself. I'll leave this one to you. It's opposite of centralization, right? I'm decentralizing my authority to you. That you read that chapter, read that part. So make sure what's the advantage and the disadvantage of that. Asking you about also not an advantage. So you can say I put one word, your answer will be completely different. Next one, we also talked about the responsibility centers, right? We said, hey, you have different center. How many centers? You have cost center, you have a revenue center, you have the what? Profit center, and then you also have the investment center. So what the center is that, kind of got this one also. Likely you may have a multiple choice, who knows, right? Make sure a large corporate division most likely will be investment center. So you can, the cost center is only responsible for cost, the revenue center is only responsible for revenue, profit center is responsible for cost and revenue, and the investment center is responsible for cost, revenue, profit, and investment. So make sure you know those four centers. So what's the meaning of favorable and unfavorable? One more time, when we talk about favorable, unfavorable, I hope after chapter 11 you feel better. Favorable is, or unfavorable is only regards for your operating income. And favorable, so let's say, so let's say favorable variance or variance that cause operating income to be higher than the budget, right? So why choice A is not correct? I think your textbook also explained it, but I think if you learn the chapter 11, you should have a better understanding, like for the price variance. You can get good price variance favorable by buying cheaper but low quality products. So it doesn't really mean it's good news. Favorable variance doesn't always mean good news. It just means it will increase your operating income for this part, but doesn't mean the long term it helps your company. Okay, so make sure you understand that one. What is false? Then you know what's the meaning of flexible budget variance, and then volume variance, master budget variance, master budget variance. This is called master budget variance. It's also called as static budget variance, master budget variance. And then let me do this with you. Is false. Volume variance is due to cost. Is due to causes other than volume. This is wrong, right? Volume variance is due to volume difference between actual result and the master budget. Actual and the master budget variance. Master budget has two part, volume and the flexible. Yeah, flexible budget is prepared using the, yeah. This is wrong. Next one, number of this one. So you should know, I'm not going to do this balance the scorecard. You definitely will have a question. Make sure you know that part. This one is also, yeah, this one is also balance the scorecard. So I put a lot of practice here just in case you say, hey, I don't know, I want to practice more, you know, just in case you want to practice more. And then I put a lot of concept here. You can make your flashcard. I think my accounting lab also gives you flashcard. And then you can also, it has a lot of things. I think I put it, a multimedia library. Some students said, hey, I want to watch more videos, you know, and then they also give you flashcard. Really, I suggest you really take advantage of your textbook. They give you a lot of things to watch, you know, to read. Okay, hey, while I'm talking here. Okay, let's see. It disappeared. Oh goodness, sorry about that. I have no idea. Sorry. I thought I still can see it. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go. What I'm doing. Sorry about that. We were on which one? Okay, I said the flashcard, right? Flashcard. Make sure you know these concepts. Just to give you an idea, it doesn't mean this will be tested or it will only be from here. It doesn't really mean this. Just to give you some more tools to study. Next one, also type of responsibility center, you know, cost, revenue, profit, or investment. I'm not going to talk too much. You know, accounting department definitely is cost center, right? Because it doesn't generate revenue. So make sure you kind of get this one. Next one, I put a lot of calculation. No, a lot of concept of practice there. So this one, finally, I think it's very similar with your assignment. I'm not going to say too much for this type of question. We will also have, like, with your assignment quiz, you will also have a multiple choice format. I think if I put in the exam, it will be most likely in the multiple choice format. But you know, one more time, right? ROI is what operating income divided by total assets, and then sales margin is operating income divided by sales. And then we also say capital turnover is your sales divided by your assets, total assets. So if you time this, if you put it here, then you can cancel the sales. You get operating income divided by total assets, which is your ROI. And then for the ROI, then it will be your income, right? Minus your required return time your total assets time your investment. So make sure you know everything here. Just plug the number there, Next one. This one is very similar with your take home, with the my accounting lab assignment also. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that we I put my notes there. I want to stop my video after this one. So you have actual after chapter 11 one more time. I hope you feel better. And then you have flexible budget. You have this master budget. So actual is your actual units time your actual price, right? So let's say you for the revenue, we just put revenue. You sold 10 units and then each one is $5. So your actual revenue is $50. Is your $50. And then flexible budget is you use your actual units. So we have actual units, but we use our budgeted price. So we actually sold 10 units, but then we use this 10 as this 10. But our budgeted selling price is $3. Let's just make up a number. So your flexible budget variance is $30. Then your flexible budget variance will be $20 favorable because your actual revenue is more than the flexible budget, right? But for the master budget, you thought at the beginning of the year, you planned that your budgeted units you plan to sell is, we thought we will sell 12 units, and then budgeted selling price is $3 because this 3 will be that 3. So total that will give you 36. But then you will find out that, hey, you will have a $6 unfavorable because your volume, your actual volume is 10, but your budgeted is 12. So your volume is much lower. This is called a volume variance. This big difference is called master budget variance or static budget variance. What I'm trying to say is you can say all these big thing is actually 2 items, right? Is the units time the price. Actual units time the actual price. The actual units time budgeted price. Budgeted units time budgeted price. So actual, flexible, and master budget. Okay, I think I stopped the video here. We have a lot of things to practice in the next video. Then I see you there. Thank you.